Hi there, I'm Adam, aka Adam Tilted, and this is Orbit at a Tilt, your weekly look at the night sky. Tonight we're going to be talking about the summer constellations. That is going to be fun for me. I love constellations. And I used to, like, when I was a kid, I used to, hi, Mom. I used to just stare. I like to know what the constellations were and try to, pick them out. But constellations aren't just pretty to look at. They also can help you figure out direction. So I believe it's important that everybody knows a few constellations that are visible throughout the different parts of the year. So we're going to learn how to find some of the constellations that are visible primarily during the summer. And when I say a constellation is a summer constellation, that means that during most of the peak viewing hours, from about 10 p.m. until about 3 a.m., those are the constellations that are, up in prime viewing. And of course, as we orbit the sun, we're facing different directions. So the stars that we see change as we go through the year. So we're going to look at the constellations that we can see in the winter. But first, what is a constellation? Constellation is a group of stars. And let me switch this way. It's a group of stars that form a shape in the sky. That's how they originally started. It's just like if you look at clouds, you can see different shapes. Our brains are wired to see patterns. So when people were looking at the sky and they noticed these patterns, hi, Ashley. I'm going to put the link in the comments. Oops, that's the wrong place. And you can join in if you want to, if you have questions. Or if you just want to hang out, that's fun too. So the constellations, originally, they were these, imaginary images that you could see in the sky because of the way the stars were arranged. Modern constellations are defined. There are 88 of them, and astronomers have decided which stars are in which constellation. And so a constellation also represents an area of the sky. And that's helpful because it's hard to explain where in the sky. Hi, Bubbler Media. Thank you, Bubbler Media. You should like Bubbler Media's page if you haven't done that already. So back to the constellations. There are 88 of them. Now, we also have some patterns that we see in the sky that are not technically constellations. They're not one of the 88, like the Big Dipper, for example. The Big Dipper is what's called an asterism. An asterism is a group of stars that's known in colloquial terms or, in culture, but it's not an official constellation. And we're going to look at both. We're going to start with the summer triangle. The summer triangle is easy to spot and fun to find. So let's see if I can make me small. Okay, the summer triangle, I'm going to hide this too so we can see the full thing. If you look to the north, actually, you know what? This is from the point of view of Cape Town, South Africa. So let me change it back to the northern hemisphere. I was just talking with someone from Cape Town, so that's why it was set that way. Isn't that amazing? I was just talking with someone in Cape Town, South Africa. The wonders of social media. Okay, wait. There we go. Okay, this is current time. Current time right now in Houston. The sun has not gone down yet because we have just passed the summer solstice, which means that the days are longer now. Each day is going to get shorter from now on, though. So don't get too excited. We're going to spin this around. The sun is going to be setting over here in the west. And so let's go ahead and move time forward until that happens. Okay, now this is about 10 o'clock at night. And you can see here is Leo. Regulus is a pretty bright star. And I don't know if you can see here, but the moon, we just passed new moon. So it's a tiny little crescent right here in the west just after the sun goes down. So that may be hard to see. But if we look up, we can find the summer triangle. Okay. Sorry, for some reason, I got okay, here we go. I got lost. I found myself. Okay. Still learning how to work these little controls. So there I am down here. The summer triangle is composed of three pretty bright stars. Vega, which is up here at the top. Jake is dreaming. I don't know if you can hear him barking. Deneb, which is over here at the side. See if I can get them all the same. And Altair, which is over here on the right. They stand out dramatically from the rest of the sky in that area. And they're called the summer triangle. Deneb is in Cygnus the Swan. So you can remember that when you're looking up at the summer triangle, the top is Lyra. Cygnus the Swan is to the left. And you can usually make out kind of across the wingspan. And then you'll know that Altair is this Aquila, which I think is the hawk. Okay, the summer triangle is an asterism, but kind of cool to be able to point out. Now, if we swing around, again, that's in the east, if you're looking east and looking up. Now, if we go around to the west, or more the south, I guess, we can see some other constellations that are fun to look at and easy to find, especially right now because there are some planets hanging out in this area. So if you're looking south, and again, this is about, we're at about 10 o'clock p.m., almost 11 o'clock p.m. Hi, Shannon. You can look up and see Antares. It will be a bright red, reddish, orangish looking star. That is Scorpius. I like to think of it as like the eye, okay? Because these little, these three stars are pretty bright. And so I think of that, you know, the claws coming out there. And then you can usually see the, some of the stars, like this one, maybe this one down here at the bottom and this one here to get that scorpion look. You know, of course, we're dealing with light pollution now, so you can't see the sky as well as they used to when they named these. So if it doesn't look like a scorpion now, it might be because you can't see all the stars. Next to Scorpius, to the, which way we're facing south, so to the east is Saturn. Saturn is going to look like a fairly bright yellowish light, like a star. Hi, Melissa. And if you look to the left of Scorpius, then you should be able to pick out Saturn. Saturn is not as brilliant as some of the other stars in the sky, and definitely not as bright as Jupiter. But Jupiter, speaking of Jupiter, Jupiter is over here in Virgo. So if we go look further to the west and up, we can see Spica, bright star, and you can usually make out this little trapezoid thing, and then you'll know that that's Virgo. Right now, Jupiter is in Virgo. So where you see Jupiter, that is the constellation Virgo. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit for some perspective. The ground is down here. So, you know, we're looking pretty high, you know, pretty up to see Jupiter and Virgo. And then again, over here, we have Leo, which also has two bright stars in it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Agligba and Regulus. This software is Stellarium. And I am going to put that in the comments. I'm using Stellarium on a Mac. It's very nice. It's very easy to use. Especially for learning constellations, and I can also, this is really cool, watch. I can put up where the satellites are going to be. So let me turn around. Usually everything is happening in the south, by the way, if you want to look. Let's see if we'll run time forward. Oh, see, there's a satellite over there. But that one won't be visible. It's grayed out. Let's find one that's visible. It's all kinds of satellites, but can we see them? Oh, there went one. Oh, these are all in the dark. Okay, but anyway, that's another nice feature of this program is that you can see the, you can track satellites. And it seems to be more accurate than some of the apps on the iPhone. If you go up and look in the dark at any time, if you just stare at the same part of the sky for about 20 minutes, you're probably going to see something moving across. And it's either an old satellite, a current satellite, or a piece of space junk, most likely. But I like to know, and you can find out with these apps, which is pretty cool. quite stellar solarium. Okay, so quick review for people that just joined. We're learning how to find the summer constellations. We started off with an asterism, which is not a constellation. It is a just a group that we've made up. It's not one of the official 88 constellations. Like the Big Dipper, for example, is an asterism. It's part of the constellation Ursa Major, the Big Bear. But it's not. But that's not the whole thing. So we have the Summer Triangle, Vega. I'm a little bit too zoomed out to see Deneb. Okay, Vega, Deneb, and Altair. And if you just remember the Summer Triangle, that's cool. Because you know that you're facing east. When you look up and you see that, that's east. So if you're ever lost in the woods and you can get a glimpse of the Summer Triangle and you can figure out, you know, where it is and you know which way is east. Cool, huh? Then over in the south, we have Scorpius, which has that bright Antares, and you can usually make out enough of the tail to tell that it's Antares. Sagittarius looks like a little teapot. We'll zoom in, I'll show you what that looks like. And can you see this teapot here? This is the pot, this is the top, and this is the handle. I don't know if you can see. It doesn't show the lines very well. The contrast is not great. Anyway, so it makes this this teapot shape, and the spout would be right here. And if we didn't have the light pollution to worry about, then where the spout was, there's all kinds of stuff. That's looking towards the center of our galaxy. And this doesn't label everything, but you can see there are nebula, there are star clusters, there are other galaxies that we can glimpse. A lot of cool stuff right around Sagittarius, the steam of the teapot. Okay, so now you can find Scorpius and Sagittarius. It's hard to find Sagittarius, but it's easy to find Scorpius because of that bright Antares star. And just remember that Sagittarius is to the left or to the east, okay? And look for that teapot. And right now, Saturn is right in between. The last ones I want you to learn are over here in, okay, we've gone a little bit too late. We are now at 1 in the morning. And Virgo is not technically a constellation, but I mean, it is a constellation. It's not a summer constellation because, as you can see from what happened just now, it's set. So it's more of a spring constellation, which kind of makes sense if you think about it, Virgo. But that's where Jupiter is. So right now, this is at 11. So you have time at night to see Jupiter. And if you have binoculars, look at Jupiter through binoculars. You may, depending on your viewing conditions and your binoculars, you may be able to see those 4 Galilean moons. And it's cool to see that with your own eyes. You might want to take a look at Saturn as well. Remember, Saturn is over here between Scorpius and Sagittarius. Saturn, again, if you have the right viewing conditions, you can make out that there are rings. It's not exactly clear what it is, but since we know there are rings, you can tell that there are rings. So that's it. Those are the basics. So remember, Sagittarius, Antares, Sagittarius, that's south. Summer Triangle, that's east. And then you're good to go. Now there's always the North Star, or Polaris, and that is we can take advantage of a very well-known asterism, the Big Dipper, to help us find some extra information about the sky. So let me move us up here to, this is Ursa. Oh, I gotta show you the, sorry. I thought I was showing you the screen, but I wasn't. Okay. This is Ursa Major, the Big Bear. And this is, hold on, I'm gonna turn that off. For just a minute. Okay, so these stars here make up the bowl, and this makes up the handle. This is the handle of the Big Dipper. And there is a saying, I'll put the constellation back up. There is a saying, arc to Arcturus, because if I follow this curve of the handle, hi Kim, if I follow this curve of the handle, then it leads me to this bright star, and that's Arcturus. So that's a way that you can remember the names of those stars is arc to Arcturus, and then speed on to Spica. Okay, so this is looking towards the west, right? Big Dipper is up here. We follow the arc. Oh, sorry, that's not the Big Dipper. That's the Little Dipper. Big Dipper is right here. We follow the arc to Arcturus and speed on to Spica, which is right here in Virgo. So that's another way to find Virgo when Jupiter is not in Virgo. Jupiter will continue to be in Virgo for as long as we can see Virgo for this year. We won't see Virgo again for a while after December, I think. So anyway, arc to Arcturus, speed on to Spica. Arcturus is in Bootes. Nobody really has been too impressed with my knowledge of that. So you don't have to remember that if you don't want to. But people are usually interested in Virgo because that's one of the astrological signs. And if you found Virgo and you found Arcturus, then that can also help you find Libra and Scorpius. So again, we're kind of coming back full circle to those summer constellations. So what questions do you have about these constellations? I'm going to put up a couple of stuff. While I'm waiting, there is a little bit of a delay, I know. So I'm putting out the request for questions. And while you're doing that, I'm going to put up a website, and I will also put this in the comments. You can go to this website and download star charts for free. So you can put in where you live and when it is, and it will print out. It will let you print out a star chart. So that can be really helpful if you don't have access to some of this software. Honestly, star charts can often be easier if you are really serious about finding stars and you do have dark skies and there are a lot of stars to look at. Then star charts come in really handy because you can just get overwhelmed with the number of stars. But for most people's viewing conditions, these apps are really good. And I think Stellarium may be open source. It may be. But I do encourage you to go support them because their software is amazing. Since we're talking about giving support, I also need your support to make this show possible. It does cost me money to produce these shows. At a bare minimum, $20 a month. And where I hope to bring us, where I can get you, live images from remote telescopes and create animations that show you what's happening in the universe right now. In order to make that happen, I need a minimum of $50 a month. Now, the good news is that's not a lot of money if you spread it around. I wish I could pay for it all myself, but I can't. So I'm asking you to help out with that. Sorry, I've got buttons everywhere. I don't want them to be. You can help by becoming a sponsor at patreon.com. And again, I will put this in the comments. There are sponsorships as little as $1. And people say this, and I've done this myself. I've heard people say that and say, well, yeah, but really, is it worth the effort of doing it for just $1? Yes, it is. It is, because I love doing these shows. I do. I love it. And I can't continue to do them if I don't get some financial support, because unfortunately I can't afford to fund it myself. But luckily, oh, my mom is in the lobby. Mom, you want to come on? Hold on just a second. Let me bring her up here. Hi, Mom. Do you have a microphone? I cannot hear you. Can't hear you. I'm looking, while my mom is figuring that out, I am looking through the comments for questions. I want you to meet my mom too. My mom is awesome. Mom, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. What I want you to do is I'm going to put you back in the lobby. I want you to disconnect, and I want you to click on the little gear that's next to connect your camera and make sure that all the choices are right, and then try again. Okay? All right. My mom lives in Utah. Danica was going to join us, but she had a last minute conflict. But I have my mom here, so that's awesome. Okay, so waiting for her. So patreon.com, that's one way you can help me. Another way is I'm trying to get up to 100 subscribers on YouTube so that I can get a custom URL, because right now it's hard for people to find me. If you search for Adam Tilted, it gives you some really weird results that are not me. So I made a bit.ly, but if you could just take a minute and, open up a tab and just subscribe, that would be awesome, because I'm getting close. I think my mom's back. Can you hear me, Mom? Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed. Hello? Hello? No, I don't think you're hearing me now. I'm not hearing you either. We'll have to work this out for next time. This is a bummer. I get to see my mom, but I can't talk to her. She's right there. Mom. Okay, I'm gonna let her work on that a little bit, and we'll see. It is 6 o'clock, so the show is officially over. However, now it's time for the after party. Woohoo! Okay, we got to do this. Hold on. We gotta. Oh, this was not slick at all the way I did this at all. Not at all. I gotta get better at that. Oh no! And I got the. Okay. Yay! That music, by the way, you could hear the music. I'm hoping. You just don't even know what kind of weekend I've had. Anyway, um, you can hear that, right? That music was composed by my nephew. He is Glitch Nemesis on SoundCloud. Looks like Mom is having trouble. I don't think she's going to be able to get on here, but I'm glad that this works out. She just retired, so hopefully she can be a guest on another show, and maybe I'll just have another episode of this. I don't see any questions in the comments about constellations. And what's going on YouTube is going to be cut off after the last the intro. Excuse me. So now we're chill. We're just hanging out. The after parties. Anything you want to know? You can hear the music. Awesome. Great. Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll try to catch up with her about that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Not sure exactly what the problem was, but maybe from her phone. Are you asking? Is that going to be on Zoom? How long have I been into science? Forever. Forever. When I was a kid, I I grew up in a very rural area and there wasn't much to do but lay on my back and look at the stars at night. And I was just fascinated and started learning more about them. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to know. And then I started getting interested in other sciences as well. Hold on a second. It's my mom. And my parents really encouraged that, which was nice. Okay. Sorry, Mom. That's a bummer. Oh, hi, Mary. So, yeah, I've always been into science, and I was a huge fan of the space shuttle. I was a space shuttle kid. I've seen a space shuttle launch, not up at the launch area, and it blew my mind. Um, so yeah, and then I taught science, and science is fun. I love to do experiments. Just the problem is, yeah, at Cocoa Beach. Um, I don't want to get off on a tangent about how science is taught in schools these days. But let me just tell you, my science classes were fun. They were fun. We actually did science. We didn't talk about science or read about science. We did it. And that's the fun stuff. which again is one of the reasons why I love astronomy, because it's easy to do. You don't really need equipment. If you have equipment, that's great, but you can do a lot just with your own eyes in your own backyard. There is, I'm going to write myself a note right now because I want to tell you guys there is a website that you can go to sign up. Space station is going to fly over where you are. I subscribe to it, but I keep forgetting to look up where that is. Excellent. Okay. Oh, I didn't talk about what's in the sky this week. So let's see. I'm sure we've got, what is today? Today is the 26th. So first quarter moon is on Friday at 8:51 p.m. Eastern time. First quarter moon. So that means that this is our first glimpse. The daytime side of the moon is rotating towards us, the side that is facing the sun. Or in its orbit, it's getting to where we can see it. And there's a lot of things about going on in space history this week, but it's really just almost too much, so I'm not going to talk about any of it. There is one alignment I want to show you, though, on Tuesday. If you're looking for, if you like to see pairings in the sky, which I do, I love to see like the moon and Saturn next to each other. Let me change the date to Tuesday. And let's back up the time some. Okay. So right just at sunset tomorrow night, the moon is going to be I'm not even showing you. I got to do better than that. Okay, so the moon is going to be right next to Regulus, that bright star in Leo. So that should make a nice, pretty view in the sky, and that's in the west, just after sunset. As you can see, I'll move time ahead. Let's do it when it's too late to see it. Oh, it stays up for a while, till about 11 o'clock, 11:30, then you won't be able to see it anymore. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And you can see previous episodes on my YouTube channel. So that's another good reason for you to go visit there. And while you're there, subscribe. And if you have ideas for future topics, or you have questions about space or science, comment. I've also created a Facebook page for the show, so you can go there and post questions as well, and I will do my best. I want this to be a show for you, and driven by what you want to know. And my mom is back. Let's see one more time if we can get her in. Can I hear you? No. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Okay. We'll figure that out later for next time, because my mom's cool and you should meet her. All right. So thank you again for joining me. I will see you next week for another episode. I will also see you on Wednesday for dealing with different. And we may be at a new time, so, look out for updates. Thanks. Bye.